Okay, we're back in Charlotte. We're going to be doing another renovation today. We're going to be scarifying, overseeding, top dressing and fleecing, and we're going to be getting this job ready for the King's coronation. So it's got to look great in 5 weeks. So I'm really pushing the limits with this one. So let's get started. All right, so it's just looking a bit sorry for itself. Now we've got this outbuilding here. It's creating shadow in the winter, so this area is looking pretty bleak. I've just pulled out some annual meadow grass over there, a few patches here and there. What I'll do is once I've finished scarifying I'll be able to see it better, but I just pulled out some major big patches so far. Loads of dieback over here. It's just not seen much sun. It's been very wet, especially in this corner. So we've got our work cut out to get this ready for, like I say, for 5 weeks when the King gets coronated or whatever it is. So he wants it looking spot on for then. So first job, we're going to scalp this lawn and get rid of all this top growth. Alright, so I've just scalped it. Now I thought, oh, I've pulled out all the annual meadow grass, which is obviously very hard to do, but I really thought I'd gone on top of it last year, but now we've scalped it, we can see just how much we've got, and that's all the little patches all over. So what I'm going to have to do now is, what I'll do is I'll follow my stripes. I've got my fork and flexi tub, and I'll just go along and try and get as many of these out as I can. Last year I didn't, because I didn't see it or whatever, or I just couldn't cut it as short, maybe because my cylinder mower wasn't working, if that's correct. But this year it is, so I've been able to scalp it a bit more and I can see it. So we're going to act, because last year I had to come in after I'd renovated and dig it up and then do some reseeding after it had come through, which wasn't ideal because it looked a bit messy. It came through good in the end, but let's get on top of it now before it's too late. Okay, so I'll just show you how we get it out. Just get our fork. Could be any old fork. I like to use the best stuff out of the drawer. Only the best for my lawns. But yeah, I'll find now that I haven't actually got any forks at home. I'm actually into the ones that I got off my mum when we went emptying her house. So I'm using those because all mine have actually ended up in my van, or they're on my bedroom floor where I take my trousers off and they fall out. I've just managed to find this one in the back of the van. So we'll just prise it out, and then what we'll do is when we come to seed later, I'll just come along, I'll fill in these patches. I've got some 70-30 top dressing with a bit of field compost number 4 mixed in, and we'll just throw that in the hole and then we'll seed after, because this one will probably leave quite a big hole. Normally you could just take it up and probably just close it up, but today this is going to need filling with a bit of root zone, but we'll do that after we've scarified, because if we do it now it's just going to fling out when we scarify. So that's what you do. You can very easily tell the difference between annual meadowgrass and perennial ryegrass just with the colour, and because ryegrass is better rooting, the ryegrass tends to stay in and just allows you to take the annual meadowgrass out. So I'll crack on with the rest, and I'll see you in a sec. It's a good job I've got all day. So that's what I've pulled out so far. I think once we've scarified we'll probably unearth some more, so I'll have to have another go maybe. But I just wanted to show you that getting that out now is going to save us like a load of time later, because now we can hide all this evidence and hopefully have a nice lawn this year. All right, what an absolute mess, but it's for a greater cause, so you have to take one step back to take 7 forward. It's a bit bare over here, probably the worst it's been, but it's just been so wet over this area. It's actually been an inch underwater at times when it rains heavy. I don't know why, because it never used to be like that, but there must be some kind of blockage in the drain or something that Howard put in before I got here. Coupled with the fact that now we've got this pleached hedge up there, it's getting thicker and thicker, means less light gets through as well. So yeah, we're making progress. So what I'll do is now get my rake out, we'll rake up this lawn now, and then we're going to get on with the seeding. What I'll do is, I think I'll rake up as much as I can, and then what I've been doing is I've been going on with the blower and just blowing any remnants off, just so I don't have to go on with the mower, like the big heavy hater, which I've got out, but I don't think I'm going to need it. And sealing up all these grooves, we will just rake it and then blow it, and then the seed will just fall into there and grow nice and bonny once it's covered. So looking forward to the next stage, so let's get on with it. Okay, so just about to go on with some root zone mixed in with some field compost number 4. Not put any seed in, because we don't want to do that. If I just go in there with loads of seed, I'm just going to end up with a big thick patch of grass. So what I'll do is I'll fill it in, just firm it down a little bit, and that's it. And then when we seed the surface, the seed will land on there, and then we'll top dress that, and then we'll get some nice new grass seed going through, all nice and consistent. So I'll go and fill in the other patches, and then we're ready to overseed. Just about to go on with our seed. This year, like last year, I'm going to incorporate the Berrenbrug Extreme again and move away from the original grass surface. I think it's quite a nice mixture actually. Now I've got everything I need in here, so I'm just going to open this up to 32, otherwise the seed doesn't fall out, and I know I've got enough in there to do the whole lawn multiple times on number 32. Wind's just picked up, we've not had a breeze all day, and the minute I get the seed out, it started being windy, so you couldn't write the script. So let's get on with it. The only problem is I've no guidelines today. So that's one of the patches that I dug out before and filled in with the root zone. So you can see now I've got a nice even coverage of seed all over. Now if I was just to mix a load of seed in a bucket and throw it in the hole, it's just far too much seed in there, because obviously the seed would be at the top, but it would also be at the bottom as well of the hole, which we don't need. So all would happen is we'd get a million seeds going in one spot, and we'd get disease and they just start rotting off, and you'd end up with like orange patches all over your lawn. So this way is the best way to do it. Lots of nice airy soil there for it to grow in, and when we top dress it, it'll be nice and cosy, and then we're going to fleece it so it won't even know anything's happened. So let's now get on with the top dressing. So we're just going on with our field compost number 4 from the Field Compost Company. It's nice and dry, as you can see, it's like dust. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tip it out into a big pile, and I'm going to just use the back edge of my rake like I've done in previous videos and spread it around. Now because it's been set outside my house on a pallet, uncovered, it's just got a little bit of wet through the holes, so it's just a bit stuck together, but it just breaks up. So I don't need to worry about that. It doesn't turn into like peaty comp when you get organic topsoil. It just sticks together in big lumps, whereas this is different. So yeah, just use my back edge and spread it, covering this lovely seed. So you can hear the birds tweeting. Now, how unlucky was that? As you can see, it's really still. And just as as soon as I start talking, it starts picking up, but just as I pressed record, it was really still. And I felt like I was, I don't know, it's like at the Augusta Masters early morning when you just hear the birds tweeting and it just looks really still. just feels like that. So I know spring's here because I just feel a certain way. Normally, I used to use the Australian Open, the Australian F1. I used to get up at like 6 o'clock and watch qualifying and watch the race on a Sunday morning. But since COVID, they've not really been there, I don't think. And they've moved it to like 4 or 5 weeks into the season. And Bahrain used to be a morning race as well, but that's now a night race. So that's kicks off at like 2 o'clock, doesn't it? So I've lost my kind of something to get up for. Only could just get up for life, but I do like my sleep, I'll be honest. And I always wake up more tired than when I went to bed, which is not how it's supposed to be. But I think I'm just more of a evening person. So now the clocks have gone forward, I can work later, which suits me better because I'm more productive as the day goes on, I find. So we'll just work this in. I've got 15 bags with me, so I should have enough. I'm hoping so anyway, because if I don't, I'm not going to be able to spread the fleece over the top. So we're going to have to make this stretch. So what I'll do is I'll just do it really thin all over, and then if I need to, I can just beg, steal and borrow from other areas. But as long as we get it all covered first, that's something to behold. So I'll get cracking and then we'll see you later. Okay, so we're just ready to fleece. Same roll as I used at Peter's the other day. Forgot to tell you, I got it from eBay and I got it from the Garden Superstore. So if you just type that in, no doubt they'll come up. I think they do different sizes and that, but I got a big roll because I'm doing a lot of it. So I've just anchored it down with this stool for now. When you're doing a straight line and then a slant, you've got to take into account, obviously the length is going to be longer the further you go down. So I've just left enough so that when I cut, I'm not short at that end. So as you can see, we're well covered. Whereas if I started there and cut a straight line from there, I would be short. So just bear that in mind when you're doing it, and then it's easy. Put your scissors always in your pocket, just ready to get. And then we just kick it along. And just before you set off, just try and get it lined up properly, like I've not done. I'll stick a staple in this end. I thought that stool would do the job, but it's not done. It's showing me up a little bit, so I'll just stick one in there, like so, and make sure it's taut, and then it won't be baggy when you finish. It'll be nice and flat. So we're just covering it over. Generally, I wouldn't cover this over, but because we're on a time frame, we need to get that seed up and running. So the warmth from the sun heating up this black compost with water, and then the fleece keeping it all in, it's going to be up in no time. And remember, when using this big long stuff, you need to take into account the fact that it's going to need pegs in the middle as well. I don't know why, but it's not going out straight. It seems to be slanted, so I'm just going to have to sort this out. It's me. That's what the wife said. So I think we're good to go there. Okay, so that's fleeced and everything's ready to go. Just got to put the wetting agent on now. Couldn't have asked for a better end to the day. Really feels like spring's coming. So let's just have a recap on what we've done. We scalped the lawn first, and we scarified it, overseeded, top dressed, and then fleeced. Nice and easy. If you've got a small lawn, you can get that off in a couple of hours. I've been here 4 or 5 hours now, but I've been obviously changing the camera around and that, so it's probably taken me 3.5 to 4 hours to complete the task. So I'm just going to crack on with this, and then it's home for tea. So if you want to see more lawns being turned around like this, join me next time on Daniel Hibbert Lawn Expert, and don't forget to like and subscribe. end of the day, really feels like spring's coming. So let's just have a recap on what we've done. We scalped the lawn first, and we scarified it, overseeded, top dressed, and then fleeced. Nice and easy. If you've got a small lawn, you can get that off in a couple of hours. I've been here 4 or 5 hours now, but I've been obviously changing the camera around and that, so it's probably taken me 3.5 to 4 hours to complete the task. So I'm just going to crack on with this, and then it's home for tea. So if you want to see more lawns being turned around like this, join me next time on Daniel Hibbert Lawn Expert, and don't forget to like and subscribe.